It's time for another edition of Wake Up the Echoes presented by TireRack.com. I'm your host, Tony Simeone, and wow, what a game on Saturday night at Notre Dame Stadium. The Irish beat the Trojans 34-24, 96th ever meeting between these two teams, and it lived up to all the hype. I was just having the time of my life in that building, getting to call a game like that. It was extraordinary. Just the energy around that football game. I was a little worried around 5 o'clock if that game was going to be played. But after the rain kind of subsided and the electricity got out of the area, that first half, if you were at the game, was almost perfect weather. Really fun to watch that first half. You know, at times a closer game than maybe we wanted it to be. Second half, I got to tip my cap. If you're one of the 77,000 plus fans that were there that did not leave throughout the game when it was raining, I am so impressed. I'm not sure I would have stayed. I am not. I don't have enough will and desire to get rained on the way that a lot of fans did, but it was remarkable to see everybody stick around. So many big plays late. Jeremiah Love, Jadarian Price ran the ball so well. And now Notre Dame's 5-2, and they go into the bye week with a lot of momentum. And they earned that bye week, hard-fought victory against the Trojans. So because they're on a bye, that means we had a chance to talk to the women's soccer team. How about this? Notre Dame women's soccer, always a really successful program here. 3 national championships so far in their history. They are undefeated right now, 12-0-1. They have not lost a game. They're the number 1 team in the country. They're allowing just 1 goal a game, scoring 3.5 per game. So they're just dominating really in every facet right now. And they're coming down the stretch of their season. So we had a chance to talk to their head coach, Nate Norman. He's in his 8th year. Great guy. It was fun to talk with him. And he brought along Izzy Engle, who's a sophomore and really just one of the best goal scorers in the country. She's averaging close to a goal per game in her career. Just a great chat with her about obviously what they're doing on the field, but tons of stuff about her upbringing. Came from Notre Dame, her Minnesota upbringing. I learned how to properly pronounce Edina, which I guess I've been pronouncing wrong on all these hockey broadcasts for years, so I'll have to issue a mea culpa at some point on that front. But just a great talk with them covering soccer as they get set for the postseason here in a couple weeks. So awesome conversation. Before we talk to them, I do want to remind you that when it's time for new tires, go to TireRack.com. Their easy-to-use shopping tools will guide you to the right tires. Ship fast and free and backed by free road hazard protection. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. Okay, let's get to some women's soccer talk with Nate Norman and Izzy Engle. Coach Norman, Izzy Engle, thanks for coming on Wake Up the Echoes. This is a thrill. We've got the number 1 team in the country on our show, so I feel like I'm in rarefied air right now. How's it feel to be number 1 right now, Coach?
I mean, it's good. It's just for us, like, we have to stay focused. They have to stay on the next game. The number 1 is whatever, at this point, it doesn't mean you've actually won anything yet. You haven't won any trophies. You haven't won any titles or anything like that. So for us, like, we just got to stay locked in. Next day of training, next game, just focus on that to grow and get a little bit better each day.
Okay, I totally hear you. I hear the coach speak. Right? Okay, now
I've
got the player here, though. Okay, can you do that? Or do you think about the one in front of the team every now and then?
I mean, I think we certainly think about the one in front of the team. And honestly, like, we very much embody the mentality that he has. And we are, like, next game, like, staying humble. We, like, almost sometimes work well when we're, like, an underdog. So trying to maintain that mentality in every game that we have. But also, like, it has been, like, a confidence booster. And, like, when we're going against, we, like, hosted a lot of, like, great games this year, and we, like, went away to some great games. And to have that mentality and, like, that confidence to be like, yeah, we are the best team in the country. Like, right? Like, usually they don't say we are. Right now they are. Like, how can we, like, now that we are right now, we want to be at the end of the season. So, like, we haven't accomplished anything yet. So, like, using this as, like, a confidence booster and to, like, just move us forward to be number 1 at the end of the season is the goal.
Yeah, I talked to, whether it's Coach Freeman, Coach Shrews, Coach Ivey, kind of the whole thing. Like, you got to you can reflect on the season later. There'll be a time to kind of check on it, but in the moment, you got to just stay on the task at hand. I do want to know if, like, for fans that maybe haven't seen you guys play, like, I look at the numbers, you guys are allowing, like, 1 goal a game, you're scoring over 3.5, just, like, what's been working so well? Why have you guys been so successful this year in your eyes, Izzy?
Yeah. I truly, like, this is kind of a cliche answer, but I think it's just the people. Like, the people on this team have such a love for each other, such a bond with each other, and that, like, produces such a great chemistry off the field that 100% translates on the field. And obviously, like, I mean, he's recruited great players. Like, we have awesome players, and we, like, push each other at practice. We challenge each other. And because we love each other, we know that, like, nothing's personal. Like, you're gonna like make mistakes and then your teammate's going to pick you up. And I think we have this, like we're down 2-0 against Florida State, and a lot of teams will like honestly crumble and like will fall apart at the end of the first half. And yet like we find it within us to get a goal, even though things aren't going our way.
Yeah.
And then we make that 2 goals, 3 goals, 4 goals, and then we come out winning this great game when like first half maybe didn't look it was going to go that way. So I think like it truly is just like this group is something really special, and like we have awesome leaders who just give us the best example, and they really show us what that love looks like. And there is a lot of like servanthood and like serving your teammate, and I know that starts with the type of team and mentality that Nate has us.
Okay, so I saw you nodding along when she first said that about the people on the teams, and she talked about recruiting. I mean, this is now year 8 for you.
Mm-hmm.
Just how has that culture, I guess, been fostered, whether it's just with this specific team or over the years, and how do you get a team to gel the way that she's talking about? Because I can feel it when she's talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, and I've told them this, like I've loved every team I've coached, but I would say like the last couple of years, like this really has been the easiest team to really like coach and manage, because I feel like they're very bought into organically what we do. I think also as you coach at Notre Dame, I think you start to figure out like the types of people that really thrive at Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
You could go in, sometimes as a new coach, you might be trying to figure out like, hey, what does the recruit want? And then I try to like, sell whatever they want, but Notre Dame's not going to change for anyone. So you try to really bring in people that are going to embrace all the great things, but all the challenges about Notre Dame. I think we've done a better job at that, of just almost being really blunt about, hey, this is what Notre Dame is. Like what I think it is, it's like one of the most challenging places, maybe the most challenging place that you can go to school at, but you have an army of people that can help and support you when you struggle. I think Notre Dame truly has a soul. I don't think Notre Dame, we're not perfect. It's not like that, but definitely we're a place that's willing to help people through struggles and help people through that adversity, and finding players that long for that challenge and to grow and really to serve and support your teammates and put others before yourself is something that we've tried to find the right people. And I think this group really embodies that.
Have you found that to be the case this is not your second year, but like, have you found that to be the case in, I guess, your year plus on campus?
Yes, no, 100%. I mean, like there are times where like you go home and like I'm calling my mom, like, Mom, like I absolutely like I love this place to death, but it is hard. It's hard. It's not an easy like place, and it's a hard environment, and it challenges you and it pushes you. And like even after last year, like coming home, like I could just tell that like I grew as a person. Like I grew as like for sure grew as a player, for sure grew as a student as well, like grew in my academics, but I also just grew as a person and in maturity. And then like now you're away from home, now you're like dealing with these challenges on your own. But then it's like exactly what Nate said, like we have so many people that support us, and like I know every student athlete could just preach that as well. Like we're so supported, and we have so many resources here at Notre Dame that it like is hard, but it also like doesn't feel easy, but it feels like manageable, very manageable and doable. And it's also very much like, I mean, me and my teammates talk, it's like a work hard, play hard. Like we like work really hard at school, we work really hard in practice, and then we have these like, we're a great team. Like we have these great wins. We like, it like kind of pays off, and then like, that's the feeling of like, I know you talk about it a little bit too, like the delayed gratification. Like it's like, I'm going to do the work right now. I'm going to like delay myself from something right now, and then later on it's going to pay off. And I mean, we've been seeing that so far. So
how do you get that message across when the delayed gratification coach doesn't even come down the road on the timeline that maybe players or teams expect? Because I talk to Coach Freeman about it all the time. Like a player might put in all the work and they don't get on the field, or a team might do everything you say and you guys don't get the results. Now this year, at least it seems like it's easy for the team right now to say, hey, we're getting these results, we're putting it in. But as a coach, sometimes you don't see the delayed gratification when you want. How do you still get that message across to young 18, 22-year-olds?
I think it's challenging. I think everything in the world today is all about instant gratification. I think, I mean, even in my life, we're all trained to like, hey, if you do something, you're going to get rewarded for it. Whether it's social media, trying to get like a dopamine hit from, scrolling through whatever, you look through. I think even like in youth sports, a lot of, the messaging is just like, hey, if you work really hard, you're going to get this. And it's not really real life. It's not really what, I think high level athletics is. Actually, I think that's not a great message to tell someone that like, hey, if you just work really hard, you can achieve anything. the reality is like I've had players that, I always tell this story, like when we had like Corbin Albert on our team, who's a phenomenal player, there was somebody playing behind her. I probably couldn't have sat with whoever's playing behind her and said, hey, if you just do this and this and this for 6 months, like you're going to beat her out.
Right.
No,
There's something in front of you.
She is. And it's finding other ways to find value and fulfillment in what you do, besides just playing time, and enjoying that process of seeing yourself grow and measuring yourself in areas outside just playing time. And I think that's a difficult message to get across to a player, but I think it's a wonderful life lesson to teach them and to try to help them grow in it. And I think that's something we try to do, like I said, as coaches all the time. Of we talk about, delayed gratification, or for example, this season, when you do have success, is keeping that like insatiable hunger to continue to get better. Because I think there's two parts of it. Is like, yes, you want to grow in adversity, and that's a difficult thing, but you also want to grow even if you're having success.
Yeah.
Which could even be harder.
Yeah. No, I've seen it with athletes all the time that come through here. Sometimes it's harder to handle the success than the failure, because the failure gives you the obvious thing you have to fix. The success, it's maybe hiding sometimes in plain sight, but you can't even see it. Okay, you said going away from home last year. I'm going back to my college days. So what was the hardest thing learning to live on your own? Mine was learning how to do laundry. What was yours?
Ooh. Should I expose myself?
Yeah. This is the place to be exposed.
I mean, just going off of this is like not maybe the hardest thing, but just going off of what you said, I like could not remember to wash my sheets last year. Like I think I washed them maybe like twice the whole year, which is kind of gross. But I would never.
Honestly, I'm in the same boat with you
too. So like,
that's gross.
That's why I was like, this is really exposing myself.
Athlete too.
But I'm not a big napper, so I'm telling you, I would only go in like to bed clean, but whatever.
Are you're at least like showering before bed?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. So
I think it's fine.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, or like, yeah.
That doesn't feel very convincing.
We'll say, I mean, yeah.
Do you?
That was not like, I would say the hardest thing from being away from home, like nothing specific. Like, so I'm like really close to my family. I have 3 younger brothers, so I'm like the oldest of all my kids, all the kids. And
feels like you raised them.
It like especially my youngest brother. Like I'm like, he's just my little baby. Like it's like I've always just been like, I watched him grow up. I like grew up with them. So I think that like was the hardest thing, and just being away from them. And I've always like been really close to them.
Okay.
But I do think like high school kind of prepared me with that, like with traveling a lot with like soccer and stuff, and like you're gone on the weekends to play away games, and you're doing showcase events and like college ID camps, and like just always like kind of having this in mind. And like also it was like easy at a place like this where like my parents both went here, so like they know what it's like they were able to come down a lot. Like my brothers have been here all the time, like not really since I've been here, but like we grew up going here a lot, so it was like easy, but it was also just hard being away from them. So that's my real answer.
Okay.
That's what I'll say.
What about you, Coach? The first time you lived on your own, hardest thing to figure out how to do by yourself? I'm just telling you, like as an only child, it was laundry, because it was like there's just always clothes to wear, and then I was like, what do I do with all these clothes? I had to call my mom and ask her to do the laundry. I didn't know.
You mean like when I came to college?
Yeah, when it was coming to college, or whenever you just early on in your life, you're by yourself. You're, oh my gosh! I mean, I cook an omelet. I don't know.
I hate to admit this. Like I definitely did struggle with what Izzy just said she struggled with. Like I remember my mom calling me, even though I am a bit of a germaphobe, I got some like OCD tendencies. That was just one that I'm like, wait, you change my sheets every week?
Yeah,
like that's crazy. And then having to get into that rhythm was hard. But I think, I don't know, some of it's just I remember for me it was just trying to get into like the discipline when you're on your own, of like going to bed at like a certain time every night and waking up at a certain time every morning, and not like trying to take advantage of that and like the college atmosphere of staying. I remember that being a little bit of a struggle for me, at least my freshman year. But I think like I hate to say it, like when she said that, it rang so true. I was like, man, I did not realize that my mom changed my sheets that much when I was growing up.
I will say this year I'm doing much better.
Okay. Have you already washed them twice?
Yeah.
What? So we're way ahead. Look at that improvement.
Yes.
Delayed gratification.
Yeah.
Gratification, lots of growth.
Yes. It's what it's all about.
You said your parents both went here. I believe your dad played on the hockey team.
My dad was
Is that
on the
right?
hockey team.
Okay, so what was Notre Dame for you growing up then as a little girl? Your parents both went here. Like, did you always kind of envision trying to come here? It's obviously been a great soccer program. Like, were you just Notre Dame through and through? What was that like?
Like, honestly, yes. Like, I feel like it was kind of like, it was one of those where like I was here when I was like 6 months old. Like I was like, it was like brainwashed from birth. Like we would be watching the football games at home. We would come to soccer games when we visited. Like even when I was like 10, like there's photos of me like 10 getting my like hat signed by the Notre Dame women's soccer team. Like when I was here.
Who would have signed that then? You remember? Okay.
Like,
but they were idols in your eyes.
But they were idols in my eyes, yeah. And it was like always something that I was like, I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of that. And like then even going into my recruiting process, it was like very much like I wanted to be a part of that. But I was also like, all these coaches were like, are you just going to go to Notre Dame? Like your parents both went there. And I was like, no, like I'm keeping my options open. Like I truly tried to. I almost like put it a little bit more on the back burner so I could like try to keep my options open. And then like once the opportunity came and like I was just like, yeah, talking to even like thinking about like other schools, I was like, this is the place where like if I was anywhere else, I would always be thinking like what could have been here if I had the opportunity and I didn't take it. But like here, I'm not like I haven't once really thought about like what would have been if I was somewhere else.
Sure.
So it very much was like growing up, like we were always like Notre Dame fans. Like, it was to the point like once I was like obviously like pretty good at soccer, like oh maybe going to go to college, like my friends were all like you're gonna go to Notre Dame and I was like no I'm not, like I don't know yet, and then like
you're pushing back.
Here we are.
What do you remember about the recruiting process with her, and did you think she was definitely coming here? Did you have to kind of make sure you made the pitch you just made to me? How did that all go in your eyes?
I never, I think whenever you recruit someone who has like the background, like your parents with Notre Dame, like it's always like hard because you never know. Like I think it goes one way or the other. Like either they're all in on Notre Dame or they're like
Hey, also like path.
I want my own path. I want my own this and that. And I don't know if you like really ever like showed your cards very much in that. Like I don't think I really knew for sure like one way or the other. Like even like I just So I think those are actually like trickier when that comes because they know a lot about it, so you're not necessarily like selling surface stuff. I shouldn't even say selling, but explaining surface stuff to them. But yeah, I think for you, like you did not show your cards, so I didn't really know fully what was going to happen when that recruiting process happened. But we were fortunate she made what I think is the right decision.
Yeah,
certainly was.
It seems like it's been working out so far.
Yeah.
Edina, Minnesota. Okay, so I broadcast all the hockey games over there.
Really? Yeah.
I do. Yeah, love hockey. Did you play hockey growing up?
I didn't.
You didn't?
So
and you grew up in Edina.
I grew up in Edina.
Okay.
Didn't play hockey. My
Real quick.
played.
Is it Edina?
It's Edina.
So it's not Edina.
It's not.
Okay.
I wasn't. You were close.
You can. I mean, I'm the one that has to say the name on the air. So
Edina.
Wait, you guys, you broadcast hockey games and you've been saying it wrong for the last
Edina. I was a good. Are you okay? I'll take you grew up there. So Edina. I should be saying Edina.
Yeah. Edina.
Edina.
Wild.
Okay. Wow. I've been exposed. Okay. So
that's okay.
Edina.
Yes.
You grew up in Edina.
Yes.
And you didn't play hockey. I need to
didn't
understand this.
play hockey.
Doesn't
Yes.
everybody?
And
play?
I'm telling you, my dad played hockey.
Yeah,
Like
what?
he played hockey here. Like all my brothers played hockey. They don't anymore, but they
So how'd
did
you miss the
until-
boat?
I honestly, I kind of tell my parents, I'm like, why didn't I play hockey? And they're like, I wasn't one really. I think maybe I just I don't know. Like I didn't play that many sports growing up. Like I feel like a lot of like athletes, it's like, I did all the sports. Like I didn't do basketball, I didn't do volleyball, I didn't do
You just did soccer.
I did soccer and competitive swimming. And quitting competitive swimming was other than coming here, was one of the best decisions I've ever made. I was in 5th grade and I did not like it at all.
A lot of hours, isn't it?
It's a lot of hours and you're like in a cold pool at 6 a.m. Like to all the swimmers out there, I'm sure you love it. But
not for you.
It was not for me, that's for sure. So yeah, I pretty much just did those two. And my mom, so another part about me is my mom's Brazilian. So we would, and Brazil obviously has a huge soccer culture. And what's funny enough is all three, me and my 3 brothers, we all are really into soccer. We're all all in soccer.
So she's the influence on the
So
soccer.
I would say she's the influence on the
dad's
soccer
hockey.
side. And dad's hockey. And it's funny though, because my high school coach for soccer, it was really close to the high school varsity hockey coach for girls side. So I got to know both, obviously my high school coach, but also the hockey coach. And she was like, gosh, Izzy, I just wish you played hockey. If you played hockey when you were younger, you would have been great at hockey. I love skating.
Yeah.
I love, we'd go.
And the footwork, I would imagine if you have great feet in soccer, I would imagine that would help on
and
rink.
she's like, oh, I just wish you played hockey. I was like, I mean, didn't work out. I
You
guess,
you
but
you ever you ever get on the ice at all with a stick?
that's the thing. I totally did.
Okay, so
I totally did.
you
I
can go
literally
out there
just
and
didn't
pass the puck.
join.
You didn't plan.
Yes, I could go out there right now and
Okay.
pass the puck around. Like I even tell my hockey friends, I'm like, so can I get on to Compton Ice? Like,
Yeah.
I want to go skate.
You
I haven't
did something.
skated in a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing because the hockey high school culture
Oh,
in
it's so
that part of the state or
It's
just that is crazy.
yes. Even my senior year, like my high school won like girls and guys like state hockey tournament. And they
Wow.
play at like the Xcel Energy Center, which is like
It was a wild play.
Yes, where the Wild play. And like at least, I mean, the girls get a lot of fans, but at least the boys, it's like sold out.
Huge.
It's like 20,000 people. And I will say, like, I don't know how much you know, like with Edina and stuff, but
Edina.
everyone hates Edina
Oh,
in Minnesota.
who's your rival? Like
It's
Maple Grove?
Maple Grove, Minnetonka. I'm loving.
There's some Maple. There's some Maple Grove.
Back to like
There's some Maple Grove guys on the hockey team.
yeah, the
You
Knicks
ever go-
fans. I'm
you ever
friends with that. Yeah,
Okay.
like I and Danny like would talk about that. That's funny.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like Minnetonka was I know a big rival like when I was in high school, and like we go to the state championship, and I would say like there's 20,000 fans there, and it's like 19,000 fans are rooting against Edina, and like because there's so many like neutral fans, like there's like a good amount for each school.
But if Edina's there,
if Edina's there, everyone
it's a little
will
like Notre Dame.
collectively. It is. It is.
Like
And
Notre
like
Dame.
people say like or like I've said, talk to my parents about it. Like it's like I've been in these two, like if you ain't it, you hate it. Like but if you are it, like you like absolutely love it. Like I like grew up there and like I loved it. And then I was even talking to someone yesterday 2 days ago now at the football game and like they're like, oh, you're from Minnesota, like where are you? I'm like, Edina, and they just go,
They turned on you.
from Edina.
I hate that. Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, hell, I love it.
That's where I grew up.
It's where I grew up. You embrace it, but
You should go whenever Minnesota's in town. Just go to the Gopher game, and you just go through the roster, and it's just the whole state of Minnesota's on the roster.
we actually like I went home for spring break last year and I went with one of my teammates, Grace, or she came home with me just like visit. And we like Notre Dame was playing Minnesota at Minnesota
Oh, perfect.
for hockey, like in the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah.
And like we went and it was like the game that they like beat
They beat 'em.
Minnesota. It was like awesome. And like my mom came with us. We were all on our Notre Dame gear and it was like so fun. Like I was just like
That sounds like a
yeah.
blast.
And like go to games here obviously
Okay.
too, but that was fun.
What other sports did you play other than
Well,
soccer?
I will say I do feel like I'm very familiar with Minnesota youth hockey because I watched the Mighty Ducks growing up. So I feel like it's exactly that.
You
Like
actually remind me a lot of Gordon Bombay.
I was trying to think of what district, Edina would be. You know, it's like District 12 or 10.
Honestly, it feels like the Hawks.
The Hunger Games now.
Doesn't it? District 12, yeah. I volunteered to repeat.
Weren't they? I just remember when Gordon Bombay got, it's signed to that hockey team. Wasn't it like a district that he was like, oh, you have to coach like District
Right.
11?
I
Like,
think that's right. But I think like
but it could be Hunger Games too.
that's the good. I want
I
to
just
stuff like
took him
that.
reading one of the Hunger Games, so that's where that is in my head.
the Hawks in Mighty Ducks. They probably feed a ton of kids to Edina High.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I get.
Yeah, there was. I
And
know.
everyone thinks they're one of the Ducks,
Yeah.
fighting back against.
What was
Dick
that
Bad.
coach's name?
Oh
That's
man,
hard me know.
I don't know, but if you miss this goal, you're letting.
Was it
everyone else
Coach
know.
Riley?
Coach
Was-
Riley. Oh wait, and you got to Coach Riley. Info of yours too.
I was gonna say, wait, that sounds familiar. I know a Coach Riley.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's a great movie. Have you man?
seen it.
Yeah.
Do you want to have to see it and go up to Minnesota?
It's actually part of our homework.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
D1 or D2? Which one's better? Mighty Ducks or Mighty Ducks?
Oh, I think the first one.
You do.
I'm not gonna lie. I said that in a shot in the dark.
Yeah.
I forgot what happened.
You don't know what happens in D2?
I kind of forgot.
Knuckle Puck, Team USA. He said.
Okay, then I would say the second one.
Oh.
They're all kind of blurry.
It's the most unrealistic movie ever. If you really think about what they did, is they just took a youth hockey team and basically made them the national team, and then brought like a few players from.
They brought in Kenny Wu.
Yeah, but the guy had never even played hockey before. He was a figure skater, right? And they just gave him a hockey stick. The one guy couldn't even stop.
The guy with the lasso.
Some guy from Texas.
The Bash Brothers.
Yeah,
It's great.
Yeah.
It's a great film.
for sure.
Yeah.
What were your other sports growing up? Soccer, anything?
Mainly just basketball. My dad played college basketball, so I grew up more like in a basketball family. I always tell people like probably the only reason why I got into soccer was that age, 5, 6, 7, 8. We lived in St. Louis, Missouri. Actually, where Grace is from, who is Izzy reference. Like every little kid played soccer in St. Louis. My parents were just like, all right, I guess go out and play soccer. All your friends are playing soccer. So that
Really?
kind of got me into it then.
Well, it was just like everyone in the part of the country. Right? Was there something going on in St. Louis? Because I'm not like MLS wasn't there, were they?
No, but I think there's just a huge soccer community in St. Louis.
Really? Okay.
I don't I'm not exactly sure why. I'm sure there's something there. Like, I mean, I went back. Grace's mom, who played here and won a national championship, got inducted to the St. Louis Soccer Hall of Fame, and so I went back to like this banquet, and they had like 1,000 people at this banquet. Everybody that's inducted wears this like green jacket. I felt like it was at the Masters or something like that. But I mean, they take it really, really seriously.
I never would have thought of St. Louis, I guess, as a soccer hotbed, but it sounds like there's a great culture there.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
One last one I had before we take a quick break. It's kind of along the lines of getting into soccer. Like, and I'll start with you because you're younger. Maybe have the better frame of reference. What's like the soccer moment you had growing up, whether it was like, watching, whether it's pro soccer, international soccer, that like sticks with you or got you into the sport? Is there a moment? And for me, I'll give you mine. It's like, I remember like 99, the Women's World Cup, the Mia Hamm team, Chastain scores the goal. But then on a men's side, like the Clint Dempsey goal in 2010, or the Landon Donovan goal, I guess it was, Algeria, like making it. I don't know, there's like these flashbulb moments in soccer that for me, not a huge soccer fan, stick with me. Is there something with you growing up? You're like, that's my soccer moment.
You kind of stole part of mine.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I think I would have been like 9 at the 2015 World Cup, for me. And like I was like when Carly Lloyd like scored a hat trick in the Women's World Cup Championship.
Is it the final? Yeah.
Yes, that was in the final.
Was it one of them like midfield?
Yeah, they won that like 8-0 or something that game, right?
It was like 5.
It was a 5. Okay.
Felt like
Completely smashed them.
Yeah.
They did. They completely dominated. And Carly Lloyd scored one from half field, and she had this hat trick. And I would think I was like about 9, and it was like when I was like 9, 10, 11 was when I was like I always like loved soccer. Like even growing up, it was like my fun fact at school. It was like
it was in your
I
blood.
would draw it. Like when we would do drawings, I'd draw a soccer ball on a soccer field. Like all my art projects. Like I was obsessed with it. Still am.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I think like that moment for sure was like I want to be a part of that. Like I want to be someone who can like do that. I want to be like have that kind of like I want to like and that still is my goal. Like play on the full national team and like make the steps towards doing that. So and like this was like a huge like coming to college and playing here was like a huge step towards that. So
Sure.
hopefully like we're on the right trajectory, but yeah, I would say that like just watching that game and like seeing her like specifically do that hat trick, like that's what like I couldn't really even say who scored the other goal. Like that was what was like ingrained.
Yeah. It was I'm not stealing yours, but then I think about the women's team, the World Cup before that. You've been younger, but it was I think they were playing Brazil. Like Rapinoe to Wambach with like no time left, I think, and they beat him maybe in the semifinals or something. It's a crazy goal in 2011 that stuck with me. Those are the things that came to mind when I heard that. What about you? Because you'd be growing up. I mean, what's the moment that gets you into it? And like, frankly, I think about a young girl in the U.S. Like, there's a lot of these women's national team moments that probably can help them get really fired up. There's not a lot of men's national team moments beyond, I guess, what were they in L.A. in it 98? Is that when it was, or 94? I don't know, but.
Well, I think there's two. I remember like so I was alive like obviously during the 94 World Cup here.
Okay.
I don't have a specific moment that I was like, ooh, that, but I just remember that being so big and like watching games and hearing about, I didn't actually go to any games, but hearing about friends that would go to games and it, even like facility wise, like it increased because it was like all these teams were coming to this country and they were actually having, redoing fields so they could have a field to train on. And I just remember all that, like just upped like soccer in this country. And so much. And my hope is like, we get that same bump next year. Or next summer when we get the World Cup again. So, but I remember that just increasing like the visibility and everything of soccer in this country. And then the one that I like really remember, I don't know if I was in high school. I remember Clint Dempsey. I remember I had to wake up really early to watch this game. They were playing Portugal. I think it was when they had the World Cup in Korea. And he scored that goal. They beat Portugal in I think the very first game. And I remember he like weaved in and out of like two
this
players and scored.
14?
I think it might have been 14.
Yeah.
But I just remember like, cause I woke up early.
You're playing Ronaldo then, right? Or Portugal? We're playing Cristiano Ronaldo then.
He must have been on that team. Yeah, but it was a huge upset. It was still in their group stage. We had to kind of launch them, but I remember that was like I probably was in like 9th grade or something like that, or so it must have been earlier than 2015.
Yeah, it must have been then if it's that.
Yeah. But it was but I just remember that was like I was like, ooh, that's awesome, and that sticks in my head. But no, I feel like that 94 World Cup just in general like was very transformative for me.
Yeah, did a lot for people in the States.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to take a break, and we'll come back with more. Guys, thanks for sticking around, keep me company on the couch. This is actually our subject matter expert segment presented by the tire experts at TireRack.com. Shout out to them. So we have a great subject this week, and it's goal scoring. There's a lot that goes into a soccer game, Coach. I'm happy to hear about it at another time. I want to talk about what it takes to be a great goal scorer and finisher. 35 career games. You're almost a goal per game. 32 goals. That has to be, that's a high number. Explain to me what it takes in your eyes, Izzy, to be a successful goal scorer.
I mean, well, the very first thing, and it probably goes without saying too, but like you got to have teammates that set you up to score goals. And like I think like in high school I had that, but like especially here, like my teammates set me up every time. Like sometimes they're like the easiest goals to score. Not easy, but like easy goals to score because like they do so much work defensively, attacking. Like, yeah, I truly like that 32, whatever, like 32 and 35 games, like that would be zero without my teammates. So like that's first and foremost, like they set me up well. Like I do my part, they do their part, and then like that helps us together as a team, which is like again what's awesome about this team. And then I guess like on my own side, like even in high school, like I remember like I would be playing like, so like right now I play forward. I would be playing like a midfield position.
Okay.
And I would still just like try to score. Like I would like always, and it was like we had a great like good team in Minnesota, but like we struggled a little bit sometimes on the more national stage. So like it was like sometimes that was like I got to score. Like
You had to.
I had to like help my
to.
team score. Like, and I would like dribble. I would pass it to my teammates, or I would just literally dribble and score and try to score and shoot. And so that's what's also really cool about coming here is I'm like, gosh, like I love like taking people on and stuff, and I love dribbling, but it's also like I can connect with my teammates. I can like make a run and they'll be able to play it. And like, so that's what's been, again, really cool about like growing as a player in that way. But, and I just like kind of like, I just had a, like, I don't want like a knack for the goal, but like, it was like, I always like, I don't know what, like, I just always wanted to score, like to score. And that kind of, I grew with that. And then like coming here, like, I don't know specifically, like it doesn't like, it took a lot of hard work. Like it still takes a lot of hard work. Like there's so many areas of my game that I need to improve on and that like I can continue to grow on. And like, I'm like the first person, like I'm my hardest critic. I'm the first person to like look at myself and be like, okay, I need to improve on this. And like, I will go do the work to like do that and like hopefully like make improvements on that for the next game, for the next season. But like it is, I don't have like a specific, other than like, not like a knack is like a bad way to put it, but like it is like, I always like am conscious of where the goal is, conscious of like, what are ways that we can score and like have this like insane desire to score. I guess.
So you're like
and to
extremely hungry.
Yes, yeah. That's a good way to put it. And like it's like
insatiable hunger for goals.
Sure.
Okay.
We can say that. And like that's like for myself, but also like for my team. Like also obviously for my teammates. Like because I say like one of my strengths is like creating opportunities to score. And that's like for myself, but also like if I can do this and then pass it and then my teammates scores, like that fulfills the same amount of hunger as like myself scoring. But like it has been like I'm in the position. I'm the highest position on the field. Like,
you're gonna get a lot of chances.
In the position, I get the most chances. Me and like the other forward get the most chances.
What are the traits that she has? Because I'm sure there's great build up to all these goals and takes 11 people to generate a scoring chance. But like, what are the traits? I assume you see it as a coach. Like you have to identify this in recruiting, and then when you're putting together a roster and an 11 that make her a great, let's call it finisher. Because if the goals come together as a team, there's still these little, maybe they're intangible things that she's kind of describing. She can't put her finger on. Like when you look at a player like her, what does she do that maybe sets her apart as a great finisher for you guys?
I think the first thing I'll tell this story, like when she was a club player, like I saw her play as a forward, but I also would see her play as like a wide player. Like I know when she get called in sometimes a youth national team, they play her as a wide player. So when she came in, I wasn't really sure if she'd be like, a 9 for us or if she'd be a wide player. And I was kind of willing to try it at both. And early in the season last year, her freshman year, we were playing her somewhat as a wide player. And I remember we started doing individual meetings. I think we were at Samford. And we were doing it in the hotel, and we were meeting with Izzy, and we're kind of looking at her and saying, hey, like we might try you like up top. Like, do you think you can handle that? Like we need somebody who really can like score goals and kind of take that responsibility and run with it. And I just remember like she like looked us in the eye and she's like, yes, I can absolutely do that. And I was thinking either this person is extremely confident in herself or like this is going to work. And I think the next game she had a hat trick.
Really?
And like just what Izzy said, like she has this willingness, this ruthless mentality of like, I want to score like every second of every single game. And I think the best nines, the best goal scorers, like they have to have that mindset, and she has it. And combined with, like some great gifts from God of like her speed and her power and her ability to focus and, her ability to move on when she makes a mistake in her head. Like, I think that's the other thing is like attacking players are going to make mistakes. They're going to miss chances. They're going to, struggle, and like their ability to just like, okay, the next one, like I'm gonna score. Like, hey, that miss takes me one step closer to the next goal, and I think she embodies that mentality.
Okay, then 2 follow-ups for you. First one is about that last thing you said, that mindset. So I feel like there's probably a lot of pressure at times to finish. And when you don't finish a chance that you think you should, there's positions in sports where you might get a lot of attention for not coming through. But you have to stay in it and keep the mindset that you will eventually come through and it'll pay off. How do you keep that mindset when you don't have success? Maybe you, like you said, didn't finish when you should have, to make sure that it doesn't affect how you play going forward.
The example I'll give for that. So last year, they put me at forward, and then I was like scoring goals. Like I was doing great. I was like really, I was embodying everything. I was feeling good about myself, very confident. And then I kind of hit this like drought, let's just say, scoring drought. And like I'm telling you, like my high school, like there would be like maybe 2 games in a row where I wouldn't score.
Yeah.
But like it was never really more than that. Like I would pretty much score like a lot. Like this sounds so, I don't like saying this.
No, this is the every great college athlete that played. We all get it. Like you're dominant in high school. We got it.
Yeah, but so coming here, and I hit this drought, and I think it was like 5-6 games, like and ended up being like 5-6 games or something where like straight where I didn't score, and that was like hard for me. And like there was like maybe by like game 3, game 4, I was like, I need to score. Why am I not scoring? And like as a forward, you think like, and it is like. The midfielders have their role. The defenders have their role. They're doing their roles great. My role is to like score goals instead of my teammates to score goals. And like, I'm not doing that. So like, I'm not doing my role. I'm letting my teammates down. And like, I mean, first of all, like I really tried not to think that. Like, I don't think I did think that too much, but like the second
creep in there.
The second it creeps in there, but the second you really believe that, like it's kind of screwed for you. Like that's not going to help you out. But I think like that was like, it was frustrating. Like I remember I missed a chance from like, I think that line right there was the goal, and I hit it wide. And it was completely open. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, and that's when like it gets frustrating. And then you can like get really worked up. And it is like, you're not in that like mental, like state of focus, like next chance. Like, then you're like, why did I miss that? And then you're kind of in the recollection phase. And I think like, especially in that time, like like when I scored again, it was the first game where I was like, you know what? My value, I know my value as a person does not come from soccer. Like it comes from me being a child of God. Like it doesn't come from soccer, but that wasn't even what I was trying to say. But like my value, like as a player and like to my teammates, like can come from other ways than just scoring. I can like make a movement that like gets my teammate open and she scores. Like I can maybe assist, but I can like, a selfless run. I can press really hard and defend. And I remember like we like got to the Stanford game. My family was here too. So like it was a lot of talking, and I hadn't scored in maybe like 6 games or something. And I was like, you know what? For some reason, today is like the first game where like if I don't score, like I'm actually okay. Like I am gonna add value in other ways, and then I scored that game.
Yeah.
And so it was, and then like I kind of had this and then I kind of shifted my mentality a little bit, and then, but like it's still hard. Like
it
you
sounds
still need
easy.
to score.
It sounds easy, but it's
like,
the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
I feel like athletes like that all the time. Whether it's it could be any sport. It's like golf. The harder you try, the worse you're gonna play.
Exactly.
In basketball, like if you're not shooting well, like go set a good screen. But you hear it all the time, and yet in the moment, it's hard.
It took 6 games for me to be like, that's what I'm going to try to do, and then it actually ended up working.
So from your standpoint, Coach, like you coach plenty of players, but you see that. How can you get a message like that? Because she has it in her, but while she's playing or while she's struggling, it might be hard to get that to click. Like how do you communicate these things, these messages throughout the year when it might not be easy to get it to stick?
Well, I think every player is different, so I don't think it's like a one message. So you're trying to understand like what makes them tick, how they're wired, what is really going on in their heads in those situations, and then just helping them like identify like almost like, hey, what are your thoughts? Like, is it a lack of confidence? Do you feel like you're letting someone down? Do you feel like, and just trying to change that like imagery, that thought process in their head, because it, like, being an attacking player, like, it is a bit of like, feast or famine. Everyone will see you miss that shot. Oh man, she should have made that, or I would have made that. It's like, whatever, like, but then the next one, it's like, I got to be focused and I got to be able to just relax and finish that next chance. And, I think for Izzy, like, she's been able to go through that adversity, and all this stuff is like just her ability to grow and to learn those lessons, and take maybe that drought that she had last year, and and think back to maybe what were those negative thoughts in her head, and if that starts to creep in this year, it's like, okay, flip it and like know that yes, you can. I think that was great. Like, you can still add so much more value to our team by just doing these other things and not just ruminating on like the missed chance over and over and over again in your head. Because I think any high level athlete, like, we love to replay negative moments.
Yeah,
like
sure.
we just love it, right? We love to be very like self-critical, which isn't necessarily bad. It's just being able to acknowledge it, but then also being able to replay like the positive moments in your head to give yourself that confidence that the next time that you get that opportunity, you're going to relax and finish.
Yeah, you can't let the negative absorb you. What's the best goal you've ever scored at Notre Dame?
I don't know.
I don't know if it's like recency. I don't. Do you want me to answer that?
Sure.
Let's have we'll have Coach go first. Fair.
So like, she scored this goal against Cincinnati this year where I like don't really understand fully how you did that. Like this.
Describe it for me. I want to see if they can maybe pull up the video for when we put this out. Hopefully.
So there was like a big diagonal ball that was played. I think Lainey played it, and she was kind of running away from goal. It was a bouncing ball, and she somehow like turned her hips and hit it like your hips are facing that way, but the goal's facing that way. And she was probably 21, 22 yards out and just smashed one, diagonally, like into the far post, and it had movement on it. And I just remember like, even like live, even, like, I was just like, I don't really understand how she did that. Yeah. Like, even their coach, I remember, she's a friend of mine, they were kind of arguing because they thought the ball was actually like off of like a free kick.
It was like kind of rolling.
It might have been rolling or, whatever. And, but even like, she was like, that was such an amazing goal that I almost feel bad to like argue about like the lead up. Like, I mean, it was just like, I think
want to let it stand for the sake of history.
Yeah. Like,
the record
everyone was just
reflect.
like, what just happened there?
Okay.
It was like,
so it was, yeah. So for me, like, that one just like sticks out, like, in terms of just the most impressive, way she was able to score that goal.
Okay, they're gonna pull it up right now. Is that the one that, as he brings it up, is that one
as
the
he
best
brings
one?
it up, that one was like I remember one that will just like stick in my head. I don't even know. It was like an impressive goal for sure, but like it wasn't like maybe it wasn't. But like that Samford game when they were like, this was like early freshman year.
Yeah.
Like, can you score goals, whatever? And then like I was like, sure, yeah, I can.
Yeah.
It was that with the
So it's from right at the edge of the box. Wow. So so when you see that back, like how do you do that?
How?
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
How do you do that?
You're going to help me. Okay. From a layman, you're running it in my head. The goal's at 12 o'clock. You're kind of running it 2 o'clock, and with it in the air, you're able to hit it kind of at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Like, that to me is just, I can't even wrap my head around how to get my body to do that.
Yeah. I mean, whenever like I told someone, I probably told Nate this, probably told other people, like, I think going back, like, I don't know if I could do that again. Like, if I tried to, if I was like, okay, we're going to set up the exact same situation. Now you're going to think about it. Like, it was honestly just like, it's muscle memory.
Your body just takes over.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, it was like, I've practiced so many times a bouncing ball, hitting it at the right time. I've practiced so many times, like, finding the far post. Practiced so many times, like, hitting it in the air away from the goalie's hands. Like, practiced so many times, like, on that angle when you're, like, going away from goal. Like, it was muscle memory. Like, there was so, like, and, like, like, there's so much hard work that goes into it. And there's so many, like, countless hours that, like, all of us athletes, like, we spend, like, doing finishing back at home, like in high school, like I would just like work on, and like no one creates that type of like scenario, but it was the muscle memory of like I work on my half volleys. That's like what that was. That was a half volley.
Right.
I work on like far post shots, like getting outside the goalie's hands.
It's like hours of
It was
preparation.
hours of preparation, and then
synthesized to like 2 seconds.
exactly, and it kind of like goes into then like when the situation comes up, it is like muscle memory. And yet then there's a lot of times where like those plays, like I get similar plays and then it doesn't go that way.
Right. Over the crossbar.
It goes over the crossbar. And so like it is just like also a combination of just like circumstances working out. It all comes in like what you said, like together at the right time, and I do it correctly. But it is just like muscle memory in a way. Like it's like I wasn't thinking in that moment. I was a little bit afterwards like, wow, that was like I did not expect myself.
Great celebration. You were impressed with yourself.
I was.
I could tell. It was a fun highlight to watch. All
Thank you.
We'll take one more break and we'll come back for our final segment. This is our Tell Us a Story segment. It's brought to us by the great people at Yeti, which you guys already have your drinks. You guys are good over there? Yep. Yeti does a great job. Coke products, of course. I've got a Topo Chico, Coach's Topo Chico. You got Dasani? Yep. Dasani, yep. So you've come prepared with the story. Lay it on us. I want to hear it. Tell me all about it. And then let's go from there.
Perfect. Okay, so this like one story that I thought of, and it was kind of like even yesterday when like Allison was like asking me about like, oh, what to talk about. Like I was asking my parents like, what kind of story could I even tell? Like I don't know. And they like brought up this one thing from like high school soccer, and I thought it was just like kind of captures a little bit of like even what this season has been about and what this season could be about.
Okay.
And kind of just like the way that it works. So when I was like in high school, like my Edina, what we've talked about a lot, like we were a very great high school program. We had like another really great player who like went off and she went to UNC and like is now playing professionally for women's soccer. They won a national championship last year. Maddie Dahlian, yeah. And like I played with her for 2 years. Like we were freshman, sophomore, and like this was when I was really midfielder, and like I scored goals, but I also like she was forward and I would like assist her a lot.
Okay.
Like I would like pass the ball, she would score a lot of goals. And we were like dominant our like my sophomore year, her senior year. And like we hadn't won the state tournament in like years, like since like 1980 something. And we like had other really great players, and we're like in the state semifinal, and we play like at the Minnesota Vikings stadium at US Bank Stadium. So it was like that's like where the state semifinal and final happened. So that was really cool. Like just like awesome experiences to have. And we were like beating this team 2-0. Maddie had scored 2 goals for us. We're winning 2-0, and this was like Stillwater. I don't know how much you're familiar with it, but and like they were also a great team, but like let's just like we had like maybe like 6 D1 players come out of my high school team. They had like 0, if maybe 1. And like we were like all like on the ECNL like MTA team, which was like the good club in the state, and like they had none. So like we were like very much, and we were like
you're the
undefeated.
favorites.
We're the favorites. Like we should be winning this game. We're winning 2-0. We're rolling. We're doing great. We end up losing 3-2. We give up like 3 set piece goals within like 10 minutes, and it just like turned us on our heads. Like it was like horrible. Like we're like expected to win state. Poor Maddie's.
I didn't see the story going this way, but okay.
No, you didn't. Trust me.
There is the story.
It turns right. And so, we didn't win. So, we lose 3-2. We end up like we win this 3rd place game. So now we get 3rd in the state tournament, and we're like, that is so disappointing. Like we were completely undefeated, like 17-0, 18-0 going into that game. Then we lose that game. And then junior year, like, I mean, Maddie left now. She graduated. Like I kind of took more of like we already talked about my goal scoring. So like I took more of the goal scoring role for sure. But we end up getting 2nd place. And like that was more of a rocky year, but like it was more of like a underdog. We end up
got to the final, came in 2nd. Okay.
Got to the final, came in 2nd. And we could have won, but like we lost to a great team. Honestly, like respect to them. Like I think they deserve that. And then senior year, we're like, now it's do or die. Like there was 2 other girls who are now at the Gophers and the Army, like West Point.
Yeah.
And they're playing soccer. They're both doing awesome. And like us 3, we were on the team sophomore year, and then now our seniors, captains, our senior year. And we're like, we know how it felt to lose sophomore year, junior year. Now we haven't won yet, and we're seniors. And we pretty much did like 3rd place, 2nd place. And now it's
only one place.
There's only one more place to go. And we really like, I was like, but yeah, I wanted my revenge against Stillwater. I was like, I want to play them in the state.
I see where the story is going. I now see where it's going.
You can kind of see where it's going. I wanted it, like, I just, wanted that revenge for sure. And so we are playing Stillwater. It's like maybe our like middle of the season, and we're doing great. Like we're undefeated so far. And we're like gearing up for this game against Stillwater. And it's like, we're all really excited. We're at home. and we end up going down 3-0 at halftime. And this was like, what the heck? Like, we were like way better than them. And we go down 3-0 at halftime. And I remember I had just watched an episode of The Quarterback where, I don't know if you know the Netflix show,
eh?
and where Kirk Cousins was down by like a lot of points at halftime with the Vikings, and he like talked
in his minivan.
Yeah. And he like went and talked to them and was like, no, like, we're going to win this. And they ended up winning. They had this huge comeback.
Okay.
I had to just watch this episode. So very fresh in my brain. Like, I'm a captain at this point. Like, I like just talked to this team and I was like, we cannot lose belief. Like, we're going to win this game. Like, we wanted our revenge. This is a great, like, we're losing 3-0. This is even more than they were losing to us, and they won. So, and like only us three really had that experience of like losing sophomore year, but like we kind of were really trying to give this to like our younger girls and like trying to lead the team. And then we end like spoil the story. We complete the comeback. We end up winning 4-3. I had a hat trick. Complete, like we just like turned them on their heads and like scored the last goal with like 3 minutes left. And like it was like that like did it because that kept us undefeated.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like in the tournament. They ended up losing relatively early. Like they're
Classic Stillwater.
Classic Stillwater, right? No, but yeah, they ended up losing relatively early, so we didn't like play them within the tournament. But like that was like got my like revenge, I guess. We like won, stayed undefeated, and we ended up like continuing undefeated, and we won the state tournament.
Look at that.
So like if we didn't win that game, if we didn't come back in that game, we wouldn't have, I guess, won undefeated and like maybe been seeded as well. But that was kind of my like little story of just like
Kept the faith.
keeping the faith, yeah. And
Okay.
the way to
So you gave the speech at halftime.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. I gave, and like I like some of the underclassmen afterwards were like, Izzy, that fired me up, and I was like, I don't remember what I said, but
Okay, Coach, is there a halftime speech that comes to mind for you? Your most impassioned halftime speech you've given, or maybe even most effective?
I don't know. I'm not really like the like rah guy, like where I'm like urging, like win one for the Gipper. Like, is nothing going on like that. There's not one that like comes out in my head.
Is there a time where he's, talking to the team? You go, oh, okay, I'm ready to run through a wall a little bit, or it might not even run through a wall, but like now the message is clear. Like I get it now.
yeah. I can't think of like a specific game, but like he's like, you're a calm coach, you're very kind, very caring. And like there are times where like you will look at us though, which like I love this. You will look at us and be like, you guys need to pick it up. Like you need to pick it up. You will challenge like forwards, like I need you to do this better. And like that, like, and like I love, maybe some athletes don't respond as well to that, but like I love when like,
Effective.
It's effective. Like I love when you like tell me like you need to do better. And like I don't want to let him down. I don't want to let my team down. And like, so I actually like sometimes like, hopefully it doesn't happen that much because that means we're doing a bunch wrong. But like when you do kind of like call us out and you're like, I need you to do better. Like, it's like, we know that you believe in us. We know that he is so caring. Like, we know that he loves us as people. Like, this is like nothing's personal. It's just like, do better. And like, and then he'll like talk about it obviously in a way. And I think he does a good job.
Well, I could do, if Coach is here with, all the other great coaches on campus, I could do like hours of coaching conversations with them because, and it's something he said already, like every player sometimes needs a different kind of message. But I also think like every coach has to coach their way, like the way that's most authentic to them. Like if suddenly he showed up next week and was doing the speech that you were giving at halftime and that's not who he is, it wouldn't land, right? Players have to know that you're being who you are, at least, from my high school experience way back long ago when I played high school sports. Like we had a coach one time that came in there and flips a table and starts doing it. I mean, we knew this guy. Like that's not who he was. All we talked about for the next week was like, that was funny when he was acting out. So I don't know. I always find it interesting that like it's a balancing act sometimes for a coach because you have to make sure you are who you are, right?
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I mean, that's the thing is, sometimes you allow yourself maybe to, like I said, what Izzy described is probably get a little more animated. But I don't know if I went so far over the top, like I think they would almost start like giggling at me or something like that. So
ineffective.
So I probably, you let yourself go up a couple notches, but if I did it any more than that, it wouldn't be as genuine. So
I can't remember who it was. It was an NFL coach. May have been fired by now. I don't know, or a coordinator, but like on his call sheet, like on the back of this, it just says "Be you." It's a good reminder, right? You got to be you because I think it's easy in sports to like try to be someone you're not.
Yeah.
So, okay, you mentioned earlier your faith is important to you. Just before we get out of here, tell me, I mean, you're at a place where obviously faith is key to Notre Dame and what it stands for. I'm sure being here, there's a big reason why you're here is because it maybe lets you pursue your faith in the way you want to. Just what does that mean to you, and what's your journey been like?
Yeah. I mean, my faith is like the most important thing to me. Like I mentioned earlier, like I kind of like came out, like I wasn't even trying to talk about my value as a person, but like
Sure.
my value as a person truly comes from like the fact that like I like can rest assured knowing like I'm a child of God, like Jesus Christ, he died for my sins, he rose from the grave, and like because of that, like I can live free. And like I believe in that. And I believe it's like the greatest joy that you can experience. And I know that like here being at Notre Dame, like I'm blessed to like have a coach who believes the same thing. And like he doesn't preach on us, but he like the way that he treats us, like he's talking with those like Bible, that Bible like biblical mindset, I guess, and like preaches that into our culture as well, like servant leadership and all that. But no, Mike, and I grew up Christian, like my family has been just going to church since I was little, and like for a while it was just something that like you do because like you go to church, and like I have friends at church and I would go hang out with them, and like my parents would obviously like go do the parent service, and I would go to like the like youth one, and like it was great, but like it wasn't really like mine at all. And like I was baptized as a child, like as a baby, but I really like came to my own in my faith like probably like through like end of middle school, like early high school. And like you have these like I told you, like soccer's like my like it was like my life, like it was like everything. Like I like for sure idolized it to a point where like I was placing my value in soccer and not like and yes, I was Christian, I like loved God, but like I wasn't really like living it out at all. And like yes, I was also younger, so it's like I don't blame myself
Grant
for
yourself
that,
some
but
grace.
I'll give myself like a lot of grace. But yeah, and like once like I had like some injuries, and they were like minor, like it wasn't anything like super scary with like knees or anything, but like I had like injuries that kept me out for like multiple months. And like it really like made me like question, like I was like, what am I putting my value in, what am I putting my worth in? Like this sport that I like absolutely adore, and like I can find so much joy in, like it's fleeting, like I'm not gonna be playing soccer forever. And like there are gonna be like there's some things that are like unchanging, like God is one thing that's like, or like only real thing that's like unchanging. Like he won't like leave your side, he won't fail you. And I believe that like even coming to college and like making that transition, like there's so many like scary things with that, but like that helped me like not have fear with that. But yeah, so like these like injuries happen, and like it's like hard, but like I found myself in my faith and being like, this is something like I can like devote more time to. Like I was able to like find moderation, focus on my friends. And like that's when you see like these things, like you don't plan it. Like I would never want to be like injured at that time, but like the good comes out of it. And like in the moment it's really hard, but like kind of looking back, that's what like has helped me keep going. And like when there are setbacks and there is adversity, and like in season, out of season, like that's the stuff that like I like really lean on to. So I'm like so thankful. First of all, like I honestly like have a relatively like boring, for lack of a better word, like testimony. Like I just grew up Christian, I had some adversity, but like I like leaned on to God, and like I continue to do that every day of my life. And like I had the really great joy of like my senior, like right before my senior year, my entire family, so we were all baptized as kids, like all of us pretty much including my parents were baptized like as babies. And I like told you I have like the 3 younger brothers and my 2 parents, and like they just showed me like Jesus's love like from the start. So like I'm so thankful for them. But they like we all decided like individually but like collectively like at my church to get baptized. And so I like we all like kind of made this like reconfession of faith and like public confession of faith, and like just to be able to like do that in a public way like at my church, where like I had really like, and this church, like we switched churches, and that's where I really like came to my own in my faith. And to be able to do that like next to the people, like I said, like I'm so close to my family, and to, like next to the people who have like sacrificed for me and like love me unconditionally, like emulate Christ's love for me in the way that they love me. And to be able to do that and like make that confession of faith with them, and like we just all like all 6 of us just went like one after the other, and like ended with my little brother. And like even when he was asked like why he's getting baptized, like he was like he doesn't like know like all, he hasn't been through as much, but like he's like, well, I love Jesus, and like I want people to know that. And like just to be able to like see like Christ's work even in him and like in my parents, and like it was just like that was like really really special moment. That was now like a couple years ago, but it's something that like I'll always treasure and like carry in my heart. And even going into this season, like the answered prayer, or the prayer that I've had for like me being at college was like, can I grow in my, like I want to grow in my faith, I want to be in a place where I can talk about it, be in a place where I feel comfortable with it. And even like growing up, I remember like I watched like Soul Surfer, with like Bethany Hamilton with she got her arm off with her with the shark accident. And I remember watching that, and like she was like on ESPN or something when she was like right after the accident, and after like it was going well for her, and like she like was like Jesus loves you, like said something like this. Like, and I remember I was like 12. I mean, I was so young, but I was like, Mom, like I want like to be able to like tell people that like Jesus loves them. And like, I want to be able to like feel comfortable and talk about it. And like, she was like, your time will come. Like, you don't know. And like, so now to even be in the position where I'm at, where like I'm talking, like I'm doing random interviews, like
Right.
I'm having a little bit more of a platform. Like it's so much, it's an answer prayer, but it's also like, I just want to like give with my playing, with everything I do, like I want to give all the glory to God. And like, it helps to have a team and be at a place where that's like encouraged. And like,
Yeah.
I'm just encouraged to like speak boldly about my faith, speak boldly about like what makes me me. And it's like what you said, like, I'm going to be myself. I'm going to be authentic.
You
Like,
do.
I want to like be as kind and like spread Christ's love and like his light to like as many people as I can. So yeah, like that was just a long way to say like my faith. Yeah, it's so important to me. And like, I'm so thankful to have a coach that like really does try to embody that in the way that he coaches and the way that our team is. And like, I think that's another reason, like we pray before all of our games and like we pray, like really pray. And then we do like our Father before the games. And like, it's a part of like Notre Dame and like our culture. So yeah, I'm so grateful to like be at a place like this and a place that encourages that. And I just hope to continue to touch as many people with Christ's light and his love and just keep doing what we're doing.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that. That was great. You're in the right place. It sounds like you guys are playing great. Keep up the great work.
Thank
No
you.
more regular season home games, unfortunately. Maybe postseason we talked about, but maybe not. But we'll be watching the entire way. And
Thank
good
you.
luck with the rest of the season. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it. Thanks again to Coach Norman and to Izzy Engle for stopping by the show this week. Great conversation with a couple people that are a big reason why Notre Dame women's soccer is #1 in the country and undefeated. We'll see how it goes the rest of the season. Okay, before we wrap up this week's show, we have our weekly Ask the Host segment. I saw a push notification on my phone last night that would have prompted me to ask me a question. I did not, although I might start getting my burner activated and doing that soon. But in the meantime, this is from, now again, this could be another burner, unless this is actually a guy named Guy, but it says this is from Guy from Northwood, Ohio. Tony, I've seen a lot of football in my life on TV and at games, college and pro. My question is, does Jeremiah Love remind you of Barry Sanders at all? And then he chimes in, I think so. Okay, first of all, this is not statement to Tony Simeone. This is question, ask the host. So I refute whether or not Guy thinks so. It doesn't matter, Guy. It only matters what I think. Here's what I think about Jeremiah Love. I think he's the best running back in the country, and it was pretty clear against USC. I do think I've heard him say that he didn't watch a ton of football growing up, but I do think he's mentioned before that his dad would show him Barry Sanders highlights. I have to double check the facts on that, but I'm pretty sure he has been shown Barry Sanders highlights. That's a pretty good comparison. Barry Sanders, I mean, you will go watch the YouTube clips for anybody that's younger watching. Unbelievable stuff. I was fortunate enough to kind of see the back end of Barry Sanders' career growing up. So he definitely reminds me a little bit of Barry Sanders. I'm kind of done trying to compare him to anybody, though. I think he is going to be carving out almost a new mold for himself that people will be comparing themselves to him going forward. Just what we've seen from him is nothing short of jaw-dropping. The way he, I think, finishes runs is probably the most underrated part of his game. We've seen him hurdle players, obviously can make anybody miss, does a great job, has amazing speed, that if he's in open space, he runs by him. All amazing attributes. But I think what sets him apart is that at the end of a run, and you saw it a ton against USC, if he has the option of stepping out of bounds or lowering his shoulder, he was lowering the shoulder 10 times out of 10 against USC this year, against USC last year. And I loved a lot of the talking he was doing between plays. I just think the mindset is a little bit different than your average kind of jitterbug running back. So he's so fun to watch. I'm going to enjoy watching him for as long as they'll let us watch him here in South Bend. I like the question, Guy. He does remind me a little bit of Barry Sanders. But I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to not take the bait and try to compare him to anybody else, because I think he is one of the most unique football players that we've ever seen. And I can't wait to see what he does next as he continues his football career. Okay, that does it for this week's episode of Wake Up the Echoes presented by TireRack.com. Thanks again to Nate Norman, Izzy Engle for stopping by, taking time out of their schedule. They're in the heat of their season here, and it's getting down to the nitty-gritty. 3 regular season games left on the road and then the postseason, and we'll see if they can capture that 4th national championship for Notre Dame women's soccer. Remember to download on iTunes or Spotify. Hit the like button on YouTube and subscribe, wherever it is. And we'll talk to you next time on Wake Up the Echoes presented by TireRack.com. Tony Simeone. We'll talk to you next time.